Hello everyone. This story is about, what if Naruto and Hinata started living together after she was kicked out of the Hyuga clan? Becoming fast friends, Naruto and Hinata grow close to each other. After a few days of Hinata being absent from the academy, Naruto finds her in tears with only a backpack next to her. Please like, share and subscribe. Now let's start. Naruto, Hinata, and Lee had moved to sit with each other. Hinata's and Naruto's grins had not left their faces. They could not have hoped for a better team. Lee's permanent smile seemed even brighter than usual. So, when do you think Gai-sensei will show up? Naruto asked Lee. Gai-sensei believes in being very prompt, Naruto-san. I assure you that he will be here shortly. Rock Lee said enthusiastically. I can't wait to start training. Naruto said excitedly. Hinata smiled along with her teammates. I am also excited for this new opportunity. The instant Hinata finished her optimistic declaration, the door to the classroom was nearly torn from its hinges. A green blur burst into the room. Naruto and Hinata noticed that Lee had a look of joy that was unlike anything the two had seen. Team 9, I am Might Guy. Please, follow me. Guy finished with a thumbs up. Lee bolted from his seat. We're not going to have to wear one of the suits, are we? Hinata whispered to Naruto. Naruto gulped. Don't even joke like that. The roommates steeled themselves and followed their new teammate and Jonin instructor out of the classroom. Might Guy led Team 9 to a nearby training hall. The genin saw 3 seats and were given permission to sit by Guy. Congratulations on making it this far. Might Guy said with his natural enthusiasm after turning to face the genin with a flourish. It is a proud Konoha tradition for genin teams to give a brief introduction. So, let us begin with names, hobbies, goals for the future, and... Guy paused and rubbed his chin. Naruto, Lee, and Hinata waited almost with bated breath for Guy to come up with a final choice. Favorite food? Lee's hand shot up. Guy-sensei. Yes, Lee? The Jonin asked. May I begin? Lee asked quickly. Guy flashed a thumbs up and Lee lowered his hand. My name is Rock Lee. My hobbies are discovering new ways to master taijutsu. My dream for the future is to show the entire world that it is possible to be a splendid ninja without ninjutsu or genjutsu. It is impossible to dislike food, but I particularly enjoy medium spicy curry pilaf. I am sure that with hard work and dedication that you can make your dreams a reality. Guy nodded. Now, miss, would you care to go next? Hinata nodded. I am Hinata, she said firmly. My number one hobby is flower pressing. My dream for the future is to become a world-famous medical ninja. I also want to be Naruto-kun's Hokage. My favorite food is definitely cinnamon rolls. Might Guy had been briefed on Hinata's situation. Thus, he was not surprised when his kunoichi charge did not give a clan or familial name. Guy masterfully hid his thoughts. There was something off about Hinata's predicament. It was true that she had lost her position as heiress, but that alone should not have been grounds for exile. I will have to look into that. If there is the potential for any danger to one of my students, I must be vigilant, Might Guy thought to himself. A most noble goal. Might Guy commended his second student. He noticed that Naruto was practically bouncing on his seat in anticipation of his turn. It is your turn now. Embrace that energy. It will serve you well. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. My hobbies are being with Hinata-chan and everyone I count as our family. I am going to be Hokage one day and surpass all previous Hokages. Without a doubt, the single greatest food ever conceived by humanity is ramen. All kinds of ramen. It was very hard for Might Guy not to break down and simply forego the true genin test. The test was not only required by the tradition and laws of Konoha, but served a vital role in preparing potential genin for the truth of the world. The academy exam was simply a tool to ensure that prospective genin had the physical and mental tools to carry out their future duties. The true genin test had a very clear purpose. Could the young shinobi put aside the academy mindset that glorified individual achievement? Were they willing to put aside their individual needs for the needs of the squad? Might Guy had high hopes for Team 9, but the genin had to validate Guy's hopes themselves. Thank you for your wonderful introductions. Allow me to extend the same courtesy. I am Might Guy, Konoha Sublime Green Beast. My hobbies are my intense training regime and my eternal rivalry with that infuriatingly hip Hatake Kakashi. I find it impossible to hate any food. Though, if I had to choose a single favorite, I would select super spicy curry chicken. My dream for the future is to ensure you all become proud shinobi of Konoha, if... The three genin exchanged nervous look. Hinata cautiously raised her hand. Guy acknowledged Hinata with a nod. Guy-sensei, what do you mean by if? I applaud your insight, Hinata, the jonin began. The academy exam you all passed recently was merely to ensure that you possessed the potential to be shinobi. I am proud to say that there is no doubt about Team 9's potential. Now, Konoha requires that your raw, youthful potential can be harnessed. Tomorrow, I will administer the true genin test. This will determine if you are truly ready to become genin. But we all worked so hard to graduate. Naruto blurted out. What good would sending us back to the academy do? Might Guy held up a hand to prevent Naruto from beginning an undoubtedly impassioned rant. It is a safeguard. Many academy graduates aren't ready to face the rigors of actual shinobi missions. This test is to ensure that only the genin with the correct mindset, as well as mental and physical talents, will undertake missions for Konoha. Guy-sensei, are you saying this test is to make sure that only those with the greatest promise become full shinobi? Lee asked. Your attitude and insight are truly remarkable. Guy answered with a definitive nod. The genin were about to press for more information when Might Guy smiled broadly. This attitude will ensure you, and your teammates, can fulfill their promise. Guy-sensei, Naruto raised his hand and wildly waved it back and forth. Guy-sensei. Yes, Naruto-san? Guy asked. So, when is this true genin test? Naruto asked with overly dramatic emphasis on true genin test. The test will be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I want you all to arrive promptly at that time at training ground 4. Guy crossed his arms. Is there anything else we should know, Guy-sensei? Hinata questioned. Guy rubbed his chin. Eat well tonight. I recommend a carbohydrate-rich, low-fat meal with moderate, preferably lean, protein. Eat around 11 hours before we begin tomorrow. A light breakfast rich in carbohydrates around 2 hours before the test is also something I recommend. I want you all at your best for this. You will need every advantage to pass. There was a moment of contemplative silence. Any other questions? Naruto, Lee, and Hinata shook their heads. Guy nodded once. Very well, I will see you tomorrow to decide your fates as shinobi. The three genin rose to their feet and bowed to their, hopefully permanent, sensei. Naruto turned to Lee and Hinata. Hey, you guys want to head somewhere so we can start planning about this? It sounds like a big deal. I believe it is a bit more than a big deal, Naruto-kun, Hinata said quietly. She was shocked by how much Naruto was underplaying the importance of Guy-sensei's test. Yes, Hinata-san is correct. This is one of the defining moments of our careers and lives. We must be steadfast and prepared to succeed. Lee's voice rose with conviction as he spoke. I know. That's why we have to get ready for it now. I'm thinking that we need to find out what each other is really good at and start thinking about plans and stuff. I mean, I couldn't pull off a prank without planning things out. This is a bit more serious than a prank. The other two members of Team 9 nodded in agreement. Naruto led the way back into the academy. On a whim, they passed by the classroom where the team announcements were made. This is unacceptable, Niji hissed through the door. How can any responsible jonin be this late? Team 9 paused just out of sight. They heard someone, almost certainly Sasuke, grunt in disapproval. And maybe he was delayed by a mission, the kunoichi of Niji and Sasuke's team asked nervously. Hinata and Naruto could feel the glare the girl received from the two prodigies. Team 9 didn't want to cause any problems, but quietly hoped that Team 5 could work out any issues they may have. They moved on quickly and exited the academy. Naruto decided to lead them to a picnic table and they sat down. So, who wants to start? Lee and Hinata exchanged a look. Naruto-san, what shall we discuss? Well, basic skills and such, Naruto started. I'm good with traps, and I figured out this really cool thing I can do with seals. Lee caught on, and I am learning some amazing taijutsu techniques from Gai-sensei. I have the Byakugan and the basics of Gentle Fist, Hinata said mostly to Lee. So, what are you planning, Naruto-san? Lee questioned. I have an idea, but without knowing what this test is. Naruto groaned. Let's see if we can track down Iruka-sensei. Naruto-kun, we just got here, Hinata pointed out. She refrained from mentioning they only gave the most basic information about each other's abilities. Naruto chuckled nervously and rubbed the back of his head. I'm just trying to make sure we succeed. There's no way I'm going to let you two go back to the academy if I can do anything about it. Naruto pounded his fist into his other palm as he made his declaration. Naruto-san, do you know where Iruka-sensei is? Lee asked. Ayame-san probably knows, Naruto replied. Hinata giggled. I am craving some ramen. Lee had a feeling he stumbled into an addiction. One, to his budding horror, was likely mutually enabled. Iruka listened attentively to the headmaster, the Hokage, and Tamatsu-senpai. The headmaster, an elderly jonin who lost an arm in the Third Great Shinobi War, concluded his contributions to the meeting by praising both Tamatsu and Iruka's dedication to the future of Konoha. The Hokage gave the headmaster and Tamatsu a nod as permission to leave. Tamatsu rose after the headmaster. Tamatsu and Iruka exchanged a respectful look. Hiruzen was silent for a moment as he refilled his pipe. You have been surprisingly silent, Iruka-sensei. This is an honor, Hokage-sama. It is just, I'm afraid it caught me completely off guard, Iruka confessed. You are a shinobi, Iruka-sensei, the Hokage pointedly reminded the teacher. Which brings me to the next point of this meeting. Iruka instinctively sat straighter and directed his entire focus on the god of shinobi. The Hokage pulled a ledger from a drawer and, with deliberate slowness, opened it. Iruka immediately recognized the ledger as his own. You have an exceptional record, Iruka-sensei. In fact, you have nearly as many successful A-rank missions as some of Konoha's most renowned Jonin-level shinobi. However, it has been over 2 years since your last mission beyond the walls of Konoha, the Hokage said. I have been teaching, Hokage-sama, Iruka said nervously. And doing an exceptional job. You would not be here if we had any concerns about your abilities in the classroom. Tokubetsu Jonin is quite the honor. However, the long length between your missions is a concern. Sarutobi puffed on his pipe after he finished his point. I assume I am being reassigned, temporarily, to the active roster? Iruka asked, somewhat unnecessarily. He already knew the answer. Temporarily, the academy cannot afford to be without one of its finest teachers for long. Tomorrow, you are to report for mission assignment. It will be a simple C rank, but of course, you will receive other missions of varying ranks. You have only been nominated for promotion. Iruka-sensei, you must earn it, Hiruzen said definitively. Yes sir, the teacher responded to the order. The Hokage chuckled to himself. You are dismissed, Yumino-san. I am sure there are several people you will wish to inform of your change in status. Iruka blushed. Well, a couple. He also noted the change in how the Hokage addressed him. It was a way of reminding Iruka that he was not a teacher at the moment. He was a shinobi again. There were different expectations and rules. Iruka would have to quickly return to that core of violence within himself. Hiruzen's chuckle became a full-blown laugh. I am sure Ayame-chan will appreciate the new increase in your income. Trust me, Yumino-san, she will eventually appreciate a change of pace. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Iruka bowed after standing. Sarutobi nodded in response and refocused on the other paperwork for the day. Iruka exited the Hokage's residence and decided that he really needed some ramen and Tuchi's awamori. Might Guy was jogging towards the Hokage's tower to hand in his preliminary assessment of his genin cell with a broad smile on his face. He was very optimistic about his apprentice's 2 teammates. As he rounded a corner, he noticed that his eternal rival was finally heading for the academy. Kakashi. Good afternoon, Guy greeted his friend and rival. Yo, Kakashi said neutrally. You've already met your team? Yes. I already had faith in Lee, but Naruto and Hinata have an admirable youthful fire, Guy boasted and flashed his rival a thumbs up. Might Guy suddenly became serious. I hope you are still not angry about the team assignments. Kakashi stopped. I'm not angry anymore, he paused and sighed. I'm just disappointed that I won't be able to fulfill my debt to Sensei. I am sure you will have many opportunities, my friend, the taijutsu specialist said solemnly. Thanks, Guy. I've got to go see what this latest crop of genin is like, Kakashi grumbled. Guy nodded, but frowned. He had a feeling Kakashi would take out his frustrations about the team selections and his other deep-seated issues on Team 5. I have heard that Hyuga Niji and Uchiha Sasuke are supremely talented, Guy said with as much positivity as he could muster. Kakashi shrugged, clearly he still was not thrilled with the team assignments, and said his goodbyes. Might Guy could only sigh and resumed his trek to the Hokage's tower. Excuse me, Guy-san, a voice called out to Guy. The sublime green beast of prey was beginning to wonder if there was some kind of unyouthful conspiracy to prevent him from delivering his report. May I help you? Might said as he turned to face the voice. He recognized the man as Yumino Iruka. I was curious as to how Naruto and Hinata were doing, Iruka said sheepishly. Might Guy smiled broadly. They are doing excellent. I have high hopes for all of Team 9. I'm glad to hear that. You wouldn't happen to know where they are, would you? Iruka asked. I am afraid not. They left with my precious apprentice Rock Lee to discuss the true genin test. Guy looked towards the Hokage's office. He was concerned his record of punctuality would be damaged by all the delays. Knowing Naruto and Hinata, they dragged Lee to Ichiraka Ramen, Iruka said with a laugh. I was heading that way myself. Guy-san, I think you have a team of incredible potential. The Jonin smiled at the teacher and nodded. The two parted ways, and Might Guy quickly entered the Hokage's tower. He paused in front of the office of the Hokage's and knocked. Enter, the Hokage ordered. Guy obeyed and entered with a smile. Hiruzen looked up and returned the grin. Ah, Might Guy. It is good to see that at least some of my Jonin are punctual. Naruto sighed along with I am. So, you haven't seen Iruka-sensei at all? No, I went to visit him at lunch, but Mizuki-san said Iruka-kun was in a meeting, I am huffed. Dang, we need to ask him about the true genin test. There's so much at stake and I don't want to put our futures at risk. Naruto groaned. Lee put down his chopsticks. Naruto-san, I do not believe you need to dampen your spirits with this unseemly doubt. We must have faith in each other and our abilities. I'm not doubting we're going to pass. Naruto grumbled. It's just I don't want to take any chances, you know? We've got more riding on this than most. This test has our dreams on the line. We're going to pass no sweat, but I don't want to worry about tripping up. That's a great attitude for a future Hokage to have, Iruka said out of nowhere. Ayame and Naruto looked to the teacher excitedly. Hinata waved at the teacher and Lee bowed politely. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. So, any hints? Naruto asked expectantly. Iruka shook his head. Just one, Team 9, trust in each other, Iruka ruffled Naruto's hair. Tucci had emerged from the back. Iruka nodded at the ramen chef. Would you mind if I had a private word with your daughter? If any other man in Konoha asked, I'd throw a cleaver or two at them. I ask that you two don't take too long. Tucci crossed his arms and shot the couple a pointed look. We'll be back before the second lunch rush, I am promised her father. The aspiring chef and shinobi teacher quickly excused themselves and headed for a quiet place to talk. Lee and Hinata turned towards Naruto. The pair could tell Naruto was forming an idea. Naruto tapped his chopsticks against his bowl as he finalized his thoughts. I think I figured something out, Naruto said as he turned to face his expectant friends. What one thing has Guy-sensei and Iruka-sensei been telling us all day? That we need to believe in each other, Lee answered. Gai-sensei and Iruka-sensei both focused greatly on how we should support each other. Teamwork, that's what Gai-sensei will be testing us on. Hinata interjected excitedly. It'll definitely be one of the big things. This test is probably to see if we can work together as a cell. Naruto rested his hands behind his head. Tomorrow's test is beginning to make more sense. The academy prepares us individually, but this test is designed to see if we are capable of carrying out missions as a genin cell, Lee mused. Hinata nodded in agreement. I believe that Gai-sensei will be looking for how our abilities complement each other as well. Yes, Gai-sensei will wish to see what kind of youthful synergy our abilities can create. Lee was clearly thrilled. I think we've got a plan now, Naruto said with a smile. Team 9, we're ready for our futures. The conversation turned to lighter, non-shinobi affair, for several minutes. Lee and Naruto had a small race to see who could put away a bowl of ramen the fastest. After the impromptu eating contest, Lee said his goodbyes. Naruto and Hinata could not believe their luck. Lee was going to be a great teammate and, the two children hoped, an even better friend. Hinata paid Tucci for their meal and Naruto waved excitedly at one of his favorite people. The pair walked in contented silence for a short while. Naruto-kun, Hinata eventually began. We have come so far. Naruto smiled. I wouldn't have gotten here without you. I'd still be floundering on the Bunshin, more than that, I'd be alone. You saved my life after my banishment. I couldn't have continued if you hadn't found me that day. I would have been broken as well as sealed. Hinata's breathing became labored as she recalled that dark day. Almost instantly, she found herself wrapped up in a comforting embrace. The gesture was simultaneously expected and unexpected. Naruto's half-hug, only half because he had his arm draped around her shoulder as they continued to walk, had caught her off guard with its spontaneity. Hinata had learned to expect Naruto's ability to say or do whatever was needed to drag her up from her lowest moments. You'll never be broken. I'll be your superglue, Naruto promised. Hinata giggled at the wording of Naruto's heartfelt declaration. She was so grateful for Naruto being her best friend. Thank you, Hinata managed to say. However, they both knew it was all that was needed. Naruto and Hinata quietly exited their apartment after eating a breakfast like the one Gai-sensei recommended. The sun was still rising as they worked their way through the village towards Training Ground 4. Naruto actually really enjoyed this time of morning. The village was draped in this really cool orange glow. It was also really quiet. The quiet, aided by Hinata's presence, really helped him contain his nervousness and excitement. As they entered the acres of training fields, Lee approached his teammates. Good morning, Naruto-san and Hinata-san. Lee said in greeting. Morning, Lee, Naruto said with a bit of a laugh. So, will Gai-sensei give us time to warm up? Or are we going to have to get there a bit early to start on our own? Gai-sensei will give us some time to warm up, Lee revealed. After a pause, Lee continued. Have you come up with a more detailed plan, Naruto-san? Naruto shrugged as the group entered Training Ground 4. I'll have to see what Gai-sensei has in mind. Like you said yesterday though, we have to believe we'll pass. Team 9 arrived 10 minutes before 8 a.m. Naruto was lamenting to Lee about how he wasn't ready to use Katan, Enden when Gai-sensei arrived. Good morning. I see you are all prompt and already channeling your youthful energies into being productive activities. Gai praised his prospective students. Now, I must apologize for this. Naruto, Lee, and Hinata had no time to react when Gai-sensei disappeared. The next thing Team 9 knew, Gai was standing a few feet away and he had their Hitayatesh. Your test is simple. In order to pass, you must retrieve your Hitayatesh. That's not fair. Naruto blurted out. Fair or unfair, it is the test, Gai replied. In the center of Training Ground 4 is a dead oak. There are 2 keys and a storage scroll. Those keys will unlock the chests that hold your Hitayatesh. The chests with your Hitayatesh are located on a small sandbar in the stream that separates this training ground from Training Ground 6. Only those who recover their Hitayatesh will pass. I will also be trying to delay and stop you from achieving your objectives. But Hinata started to question Gai's test. All teams were made up of 3 shinobi. How was this test possible? No buts. You have 4 hours. Might Guy declared before he disappeared via a body flicker. This is going to be a challenge, Naruto groaned. The good news is, Guy won't be going all out against us. I have a plan, but I'll need 10 minutes. 10 minutes for what? Lee asked nervously. To make some seals to cover you too. The test is still going to be about teamwork. Let's stick to what Iruka-sensei and Guy-sensei said yesterday. Naruto pulled out some of his supplies and began producing a few of his launcher seals. Do you have a plan, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked. Absolutely, Hinata-chan. We've got to get to the dead oak. You two's greatest strengths are your taijutsu. I'm good with seals and traps, which won't help much until we get to the dead oak. My launcher seals will provide some long-range support while you keep Guy-sensei busy. No matter what happens, we all need to get to the storage scroll with the keys together. I can't believe it has been 2 years, Iruka thought to himself as he headed towards Konoha Gates. The temporarily reassigned teacher shifted his pack as he approached his first destination. Ichiraku was still closed, but he knew Ayam would be up practicing her culinary arts. She had been inspired by her success at cooking for the Hokage and revived a lifelong dream. Ayam wanted to go to the culinary academy in Marasai. Iruka was going to help her achieve her dream. He was going to give her every Ryo from this C rank. He stopped in front of the door and knocked twice. The door opened slowly and Ayam peered out. So, you're about to leave? It is just a C rank mission. I'm escorting a newlywed couple back to their home village. It should only take a week at the most, Iruka promised. You could still be attacked, Ayam said worriedly as she fully opened the door. Iruka wrapped her in a hug before she could say anything more. Have I ever told you my ninjutsu specialty? Not really, Ayam admitted. Barrier ninjutsu, Iruka revealed. I am skilled with creating protective barriers. They are very strong, and if I can get them up in time, my clients and I will be very well protected. That helps a little, Ayam breathed into Iruka's chest. I guess I've just gotten spoiled with you around all the time. I'm only temporarily being reassigned to active duty. After I complete a few missions, Hokage-sama will confirm my promotion and I'll be back in the academy. Ayam nodded. I'm going to miss you. Me too, Iruka agreed quietly. I'll be right back, Ayam said as she slipped away. Iruka didn't say anything, but was curious as to what she was up to. The young woman came back carrying a small bag. It was obviously bentos. I made your favorite and included some for your clients. Thank you, Ayam-chan, Iruka said with absolute sincerity. If you want to thank me, come back safe, Ayam sniffled. She was incredibly nervous. Nothing in heaven or on earth will prevent that, Iruka said confidently. I must meet my clients. Besides, the sooner I leave the sooner I can get back. Oh okay, be safe, Ayam said quickly. In a moment of boldness, she gave Iruka a quick kiss on the lips. For luck. With that, I could handle an S-ranked mission, Iruka lightly joked. I should only be gone a few days. Ayam watched Iruka leave after a few more goodbyes. She quickly returned to preparing Ichiraku for opening. Her father joined her after a few minutes. Tucci listened politely to his daughter ramble for most of the morning. Ayam's word choices were very telling. I am going to need to have a conversation with Iruka when he gets back, Tucci chuckled at his thought and Ayam's fretting appraisal of her dish's presentation. Lee couldn't help but smile as his team worked their way towards the dead oak. His teammates were feeding off each other's building confidence. Naruto's plan was simple, but effective. The younger boy had positioned Lee in front because of the boy's taijutsu focus. Lee also, proudly, recognized that it was a show of trust. Hinata had been placed in the middle so that her Byakugan could have the best coverage of the surrounding area. Naruto was in the back so that he could react to any frontal assault and continue to plan strategies for the team. I would have never expected Naruto-san to be. He will make a splendid shinobi. Lee thought excitedly. Lee-san. Naruto-kun. Hinata said in an even tone of voice. She did not whisper, because the academy had taught that whispering actually draws attention to one's self and actions. I saw movement. Gai-sensei is going to make his first move. Naruto nodded. Great work, Hinata-chan. Lee, get ready. Just like we talked about. Gai exploded from the trees and began to engage Lee without preamble. Lee aimed a kick at Gai's ribs after dodging a strike from the Jonin. Gai caught the kick and used it to throw Lee at the charging form of Hinata. Hinata barely managed to roll out of the way and sprang to her feet. She immediately went on the attack. She's amazing, Naruto said in admiration as he helped Lee to his feet. And remind me never to be hit by that kick of yours. We will be sparring eventually, Lee pointed out with a wry grin. Woohoo, Naruto exclaimed sarcastically. Let's help Hinata-chan. Make sure I can get a clear shot. Lee nodded in agreement. Together, the two boys charged at Gai. Hinata had been putting up a valiant fight, but Gai was too fast and too strong. He was dodging or deflecting her attacks. Hinata had even been incorporating some non-jiken techniques into her assault. She had used a variety of kicks. Hinata had tried sweep kicks and even a few jump kicks. I have to keep him off balance. Everyone knows how Hyuga fight, but I'm not Hyuga anymore. Hinata used a backwards handspring to escape an axe kick from Might Gai that shattered a fallen log. Her Byakugan gave her a heads up that Naruto and Lee were coming to support her. Lee arrived first and launched himself at Gai in a flurry of crushing kicks and punches. Hinata still maintained complete situational awareness thanks to her Byakugan. She could clearly see what Naruto's strategy was. So, she rejoined the attack and started pushing Gai towards Naruto. Gai spun left to dodge a flying kick from Lee. The older genin smiled as he went prone. Gai arched an eyebrow in wonder. He didn't have to wait long as Hinata leapt over Lee and attacked with palm strike. Gai easily deflected the blow and was pleasantly surprised when Hinata immediately substituted away. He cast a glance over at Naruto to see why the blonde-haired boy hadn't joined in the attack. Might Gai had looked just in time to see Naruto unfurl two scrolls. Naruto had a huge grin on his face as he channeled chakra into both scrolls. Might Gai was intrigued as he jumped over a kick from the prone Lee. Suddenly, a flurry of rocks and sticks exploded from the scrolls. They were moving at such a high speed that the Jonin actually had to use the substitution jutsu. Gai retreated with an enormous smile on his face. Naruto rushed over to his friends. You two alright? I am properly warmed up. That was a most exhilarating encounter. Lee was incredibly enthusiastic about the brief skirmish with Gai-sensei. I am fine. Did I really last that long against a Jonin? Hinata asked in between breaths. Naruto laughed. He actually laughed. Of course you did, Hinata-chan. You're the strongest person I know. Yes, Hinata-san. You were most exceptional. Lee agreed and flashed a thumbs up. Hinata found herself blushing at the praise and attention. Her time as a Hyuga had been marked by vocal disapproval by the clan's elders and crushing silence from her father. The positive reinforcement and support was a welcome change. Let's get to the oak, Naruto suggested. Lee and Hinata nodded in agreement and Team 9 moved quickly to the dead oak. Naruto found the storage scroll and quickly examined it. He made some mental notes about the layout of the calligraphy on a professionally made scroll. Lee and Hinata, still winded from their encounter with Gai-sensei, watched as Naruto unsealed the keys. They exchanged nervous looks as Naruto started giggling. We called it. Naruto shouted triumphantly. He got up and walked towards his teammates. As he approached, he held both keys up for Hinata and Lee to inspect. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked. Naruto didn't respond, but instead tossed Lee and Hinata a key. If you give us these, you won't pass. Lee shouted. I'm legally Gai-sensei's apprentice. You take the key and pass. Two things, Naruto said as he held up two fingers. First, Gai-sensei never said anything about only two people passing. He said that we had to recover our Hitayatesh. Second, take a look at the keys. Hinata's eyes went wide as she realized a very important detail. The keys are identical. Exactly, Naruto grinned. So, we were right. This test is designed for us to demonstrate our willingness to work together in any circumstance. Lee said in amazement. Heck yeah, buddy. Naruto held out his fist. Lee grinned and bumped Naruto's outstretched fist with his own. I wonder if any of the other teams have figured it out. Hinata wondered out loud. Yasui Kid balled her hands into tight fists. She couldn't handle this. At first, Kid had been beyond thrilled that her teammates were a pair of gorgeous-looking geniuses. That was before their harshness began chipping away at her resolve. Kakashi-sensei's impossible test had nearly caused her to throw up, despite her empty stomach. I can't do this, Kid thought forlornly. Maybe I need another year in the academy. Kid looked in the direction of where Neji was fighting Kakashi. The Hyuga prodigy was doing so much better than Kid could even hope to do herself in her most optimistic dreams. She truly wasn't ready. Kakashi-sensei. She yelled at the top of her lungs. Kid looked up as Kakashi kicked Neji in the gut and disengaged with almost comical ease. The masked Jonin appeared in front of the young woman faster than her eyes could track him. You've been awful quiet, miss. The tears came freely now. I can't do this. I'm not ready to be a full shinobi. I know you said that if we failed to get a bell before the alarm went off, we'd be sent back to the academy. Well, Kakashi-sensei, I need to go back to the academy. Are you absolutely sure? I want to make sure this isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision, Kakashi pressed. I'm absolutely sure. I am not ready, and I don't think I could work with Sasuke-san and Neji-san. Kid wiped away a few of her tears. Then, this test is over. A shinobi must be aware of all the variables in a mission, especially their own self, Kakashi said sagely. He then patted Kid on the head. Good luck next year. I read your reports. I think you have some potential, but I will still need your Hitaiate. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. I wish I could have had a chance to learn from you. You are a legend according to my dad, Kid said and was feeling a bit better even as she handed over her Hitaiate. Tell Jojima I said hello, Kakashi smiled and turned his head to the side. I better go inform Neji and Sasuke of what is going on. Of course, Kakashi-sensei, Kid said after bowing politely. She quickly exited the training ground. Kakashi watched her go for a moment. A shame, but I think she'll eventually be a dependable kunoichi. Kakashi finished the thought and sighed. Neji and Sasuke, a word. The two geniuses approached their prospective Jonin instructor. The exam is over. Kid washed out. Do either of you have any idea why? Sasuke was the first to speak. She couldn't handle the pressure. No, she couldn't. Kid actually told me that you two put the most pressure on her. She felt she couldn't live up to the bar the two of you set, Kakashi said firmly. Fate decided her place. It is not our place to coddle any potential teammate. They must stand on their own. If a team is destined to fail, then it will fail. If it is destined to succeed, then nothing can stop it. Clearly, Kid's destiny lies elsewhere. Neji crossed his arms. Sasuke grunted after Neji finished. The Hyuga's pretty much right. I don't share his obsession with fate, but if she had the strength to be a part of this team she would have succeeded. Kakashi noticed the strange agreement the two boys were sharing. Neji and Sasuke had a grudging respect for each other's abilities. That is rather harsh, Kakashi pointed out. He decided to test his theory. It is a harsh world we live in, Sasuke snapped. The Uchiha boy had no patience for those who believed the shinobi world was a game or some idyllic fairy tale where good always triumphed over evil. It was a bloody catastrophe full of sacrifice. Those who do not understand this have no place being shinobi, Neji agreed darkly. The legendary copy Nin frowned behind his mask. The two young shinobi in front of him had a very damaged worldview. I will have to include that in my report, Kakashi thought. The Jonin knew why he had been selected for these two. 1. His skills would allow Kakashi to hopefully further develop two of the most promising young men of their generation. Second, once Sasuke awakened his Sharingan, only Kakashi could train the Uchiha boy. Finally, the Hokage had hoped Kakashi could connect with Neji and Sasuke and instill them with Obito's ideals. Their future superiors will have their work cut out for them, Kakashi sighed. It seems you two still have a lot to learn. This test had a very specific purpose. A purpose the two of you with your pride in sight completely missed. I think another year in the academy will do you both good. As such, I'm going to ask you to turn in your Hitaiate. Sasuke practically growled as he complied. Itachi was an ANBU at this age. One moment, Neji forced the words out. He turned his back and replaced his Hitaiate with a simple cloth wrap. The Hyuga prodigy handed over his Hitaiate with great reluctance. You two are dismissed, Kakashi said neutrally before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Neji and Sasuke exchanged a harsh glance and stormed off. The weight of their failure was unbearable. Tenten pulled herself into the tree. She was trying to figure out the point of the exam. Her, absolutely terrifying, Jonin-sensei had informed Team 3 their test was to collect a scroll with some important information and bring it to him. It had sounded easy enough at first, but then the Jonin had started playing mind games with them. Katsu and Nobu had scattered as soon as the word had been given. Tenten had stared in shock at the Jonin. Marino Ibiki only responded by flashing a sadistic grin. She had taken off after that. Tenten had first found Nobu. Tenten's goal had been to gather her team and act like a team. Nobu had blown Tenten's mind in the worst way, unfortunately. He had straight up asked her if she was Ibiki's plant. He hadn't even called Ibiki sensei. Ibiki had followed Tenten and launched an attack. Tenten and Nobu had fought together for a short time, but the boy had decided to save his own skin and fled. Ibiki had faded into the woods. Tenten checked her stocks of sealed weapons and thought about her encounter with Katsu. It had gone well at first. They had agreed to go to where Ibiki-sensei had said the scroll would be. Katsu had run over to the scroll's location and had gasped in shock. Tenten got him to stop cursing quickly enough to explain what had happened. Ibiki had taken the scroll. Tenten let a few choice words fly as Ibiki decided to make another appearance. She and Katsu had covered each other's retreat and decided to separate for a while. It had been Tenten's plan. She had slipped a note into Katsu's pack telling him where to meet her. Ugh, I can't believe Ibiki-sensei gave us such incomplete information. How can we succeed in a mission if we've got horrible intelligence? Tenten lamented. The shinobi world is cruel and information is life, Ibiki said from the other side of the tree. Tenten paled at the Jonin's sudden appearance. She quickly stood up and unscrolled a kanabo. Going for a powerful weapon to offset your disadvantages. That would be the correct course of action, if you had room to swing, girl. Tenten ignored Ibiki's helpful jab and swung the heavy club in the direction of Ibiki's voice. The Jonin laughed as he used the tree as cover. He noticed at the last second that there was an explosive tag active on the kanabo. Ibiki wasn't laughing as he substituted away. The infamous head of Konoha's torture and interrogation division was smiling. What an interesting girl. Team 9 had moved on after Naruto had created a few more scrolls and checked their trump cards. Lee, Hinata, and Naruto were all confident about the coming part of the test. They were fully expecting Guy to launch an attack at any moment. It was a bit nerve-wracking that Guy hadn't made an appearance since the Dead Oak. Alright, Hinata-chan and Lee, the plan's straightforward. We pull this off, we pass, Naruto spoke carefully. I am ready, Naruto-san. Lee nodded to demonstrate his eagerness. Hinata took a calming breath. The excitement and tension was almost too much. We can do this. The sandbar and the chests were clearly visible. Team 9 paused at the edge of the tree line. Hinata-chan, where is Guy-sensei? Hinata centered herself at the core of her vision. Guy-sensei is hiding in the trees. I think he's watching us. Well, this is a test and he does need to see how awesome we are, Naruto pointed out with a grin. I think it's time to really show him. Team 9 exploded from the forest in a triangle formation. They kept the formation tight to minimize the chances of Guy-sensei landing in the middle and ending their charge before it began. They made it to the edge of the stream when Might Guy arrived with a mighty shout of dynamic entry. Naruto barely managed to dodge the attack, but Guy landed in a crouch that allowed him to quickly counter Hinata's opening attack. Lee immediately launched into a ferocious assault to support Hinata. Guy managed to grab his leg and flipped Lee quite easily. Excellent cooperation. Thanks. Have some more. Naruto shouted as he jumped into the taijutsu fray. Naruto knew his taijutsu wasn't the strongest, in fact compared to Hinata-chan and Rock Lee it was downright amateurish. However, it forced Guy to focus on him for a bit. Might Guy was impressed. His earlier belief that he could have passed Team 9 at their meeting had been validated. However, he was having a blast watching and countering the sublime teamwork of his students. Team 9 was strong in their taijutsu, even Naruto. Guy already knew that Lee was a polished taijutsu specialist with unlimited potential. Hinata had learned a great deal of the fearsome Juken of the Hyuga before her mysterious exile. She also had excellent chakra control and good reserves. Naruto, due to his status as Jinchuriki and an Uzumaki, had incredible physical and chakra reserves. Might Guy was also aware of Naruto's botched attempt to a Katan, Enden. Naruto was also dabbling in Fuinjutsu. This team had the potential to be incredibly balanced. He's kicking out butts. Trump cards. Naruto shouted and brought Guy out of his mental notes. Might Guy had just jumped over a sweep kick from Hinata and spun out of the way of a pair of axe kicks from the boys. Suddenly, he was bombarded by several stones launching out of the Lee and Hinata's hands. Naruto had also used his malfunctioning storage seals to bombard the Jonin with even larger stones. Guy's grin began a full-blown bright enough to blind someone's smile. The attack was so inventive. He didn't even have time to perform the substitution jutsu. So, Might Guy simply smashed all the stones. Except for the ones that were launched by Bunshins. The phantom stones caused Guy to overextend just a hair. However, that seemed to be part of the plan as Lee and Hinata made a break for the chests. Naruto was continuing to bombard Might Guy with debris launched from his seals. Might Guy looked over his shoulder and laughed as his apprentice Rock Lee smashed one of the chests with a kick before unlocking the other. Hinata had also unlocked a chest. Enough, my students. This test has been concluded. Guy bellowed. Team 9 froze. Please, come here so I may give your evaluations. They all approached Guy, but Hinata and Lee did not let go of the 3 hitayatesh they carried. Lee and Hinata traded one pair. Lee had opened the chest that had Hinata's hitayate just as Hinata had opened the chest with Lee's. Rock Lee grinned as he politely returned Naruto's hitayate. Naruto wasted no time in giving Lee a high five. Team 9, you may put your hitayatesh back on. I am honored that I will have the sublime pleasure of guiding you down the path of the shinobi. I cannot recall a team that so flawlessly grasped the true meaning of this test. Now, we can truly begin to stoke the flames of our youth together. Congratulations! Guy exclaimed with unadulterated pride. Naruto, Lee, and Hinata all cheered. Naruto, as usual, went beyond simple celebrations and wrapped Hinata up in a huge hug. The young woman squeaked in surprise as Naruto began to spin her around. He continuously shouted, "We passed." Eventually, he put down a very dizzy Hinata and gave Lee a high five. "We have accomplished something great," Lee said with pride. Naruto shouted a wordless cry of joy in agreement. Team 9, Guy interrupted the celebrations reluctantly. Your first orders are simple. The 3 official genin calmed down immediately, or in Naruto's case, almost calmed down. Yes, Guy-sensei? Lee asked. Tomorrow, you will report to the Hokage's tower for your official ninja registration. We will meet as a team here in Training Ground 4 at 1:30 in the afternoon. Tomorrow will be a formal introduction. I will be going over the areas you all need to improve on. I, Might Guy, promise to help temper the iron of your spirits in the flames of youth and turn it into steel. If we work together and become geniuses of hard work, we can achieve wonderful things. Thank you, Guy-sensei, all 3 genin said in unison. Now go. Towards the setting sun. Enjoy this time of youthful celebration. Tomorrow, we march into our new lives. Guy was nearly overwhelmed by his emotions. Lee was completely overwhelmed. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy exclaimed. Gee, good afternoon. We will see you tomorrow. Hinata stammered in shock. Naruto nodded enthusiastically. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow. We've, gotta tell some people how we did. Naruto gave his support to Hinata. Guy and Lee broke off their emotional moment for an instant. Might Guy flashed a thumbs up and blinding smile at his other two students. Yes. Team 9 will be spending so much time together in the future. I do not wish to take away from your time with the other vital people in your lives. Hinata and Naruto smiled at their friend and new sensei. Hinata bowed politely and Naruto extended a fist respectfully. Guy never wavered in his thumbs up. Naruto and Hinata left the training grounds, but their smiles never left their faces. I am so hungry. Naruto blurted out. Hinata giggled at Naruto's exaggerated hand motions. We are going to start mission soon. I think we can splurge. Yeah. We'll each get paid for our missions, so that'll be a good way to save up some cash, Naruto agreed. Let's go to that Sayuri's place. I would like that, Hinata smiled. The pair made their way through the village at a relaxed pace. Hinata and Naruto's pace was a combination of celebration and exhaustion. They had fought hard against Guy-sensei. Hey, Hinata-chan, your Byakugan was amazing today, Naruto complimented Hinata. We wouldn't have passed without you. Don't sell yourself short, Naruto-kun. You came up with the strategy that helped us pass. We also can't forget about Lee-senpai. He held off Guy-sensei and saved us both, Hinata reminded Naruto. Yeah, Lee did awesome too. Heck, you two did a lot more than I did. Naruto rested his hands behind his head. We all worked together. That is what was important, Hinata said diplomatically. Naruto smiled softly in agreement. The two continued to head into the village proper in a comfortable silence. It was nice to simply catch their breath after the test. Naruto looked to his left and noticed a familiar face. Oi. Ten. The older girl looked over and frowned. Naruto and Hinata immediately noticed her lack of Hitaiate. The exuberance Hinata and Naruto had been experienced ebbed as they saw Ten deflate a bit. Hey, you too, Ten said as warmly as she could manage. She fought down a flare of jealousy before continuing. Congrats on passing. Naruto could hear the disappointment in Tenten's voice. He decided to let Hinata take the lead on speaking. Hinata always knows how to say what needs to be said the best, Naruto thought. Thank you Tenten-senpai, Hinata bowed. Naruto-kun and I were going to have a meal at Sayuri's to celebrate the results of our exam. We would love to share a meal with a friend. It'd be great. Naruto chimed in. The food is good and the prices don't make you go, how much, like some places. Naruto was talking out of the side of his mouth. Sayuri's was the only restaurant other than Ichiraku Naruto had ever been to. He really had no idea, but his enthusiasm seemed to make Ten feel a bit better. If there was one thing Naruto sought to do, it was make his friends and allies smile. I wouldn't want to intrude on your date, Ten teased. Though, I can walk with you for a while. My parents' apartment is in that area. Naruto and Hinata blushed, and in Naruto's case blushed and stuttered, for a moment. The two genin nodded in agreement as they tried, with some difficulty, to regain their composure. That's cool. Naruto had managed to recover first. I'm sorry about your test. You don't have anything to be sorry about, Naruto-san, Ten huffed. If anyone has anything to be sorry for, it's that flipping idiot, Nobu. Why did he not work with you as a team? Hinata asked. Ten shook her head. Our Jonin started off with some really strong head games. I can't even remember half of it. All I remember is feeling this creepy dread and doubt. I tried to get Nobu to work with me, but Ibiki had been tailing me. He really screwed with Nobu's head and got him to distrust me. We sparred with Ibiki for a bit. I managed to get away. I had to sacrifice a Kanabo though. Ouch, what about your other teammate? Naruto asked and felt a bit guilty about asking all these questions. Katsu-san wasn't bad. We worked together pretty well. It didn't matter though. Even though we impressed Ibiki-san, Nobu basically stabbed us in the back and tried to pass on his own. Ibiki-san went off on him after he called off the test. I don't think Nobu will be going back to the academy. At least, Ibiki-san had good things to say about Katsu and I. You know what's the worst part? Tenten grumbled. Hinata chewed her lip. She knew exactly what Tenten was thinking. The worst part was how close you were to passing. Exactly, Tenten sighed. I better get home. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to explain things to my parents. Don't worry too much about it, Naruto said with the most reassuring smile he could muster. Your parents will support you. Heck, you impressed the Jonin it sounds like. That's something. I supposed so, Tenten looked down as she spoke. She quickly looked up and smiled broadly. You are the most optimistic person I've ever met. Thanks for helping to cheer me up a bit you too. You're welcome, Tenten-senpai, Hinata replied politely. The older girl waved and dashed off towards her home. Hinata and Naruto paused for a moment before Naruto spoke again. We really got lucky with our team. Hinata nodded at Naruto's statement as he continued. I think being on a team without you would have been a nightmare. Fortune has truly blessed us, Naruto-kun, Hinata agreed. Eventually, the pair reached Sayuri's. They had a simple lunch. Naruto and Hinata were not extravagant people, due to their situations. Still, they greatly enjoyed the meal and each other's company. Hinata and Naruto were each other's rock. That night, Hinata was having difficulty getting to sleep. It was strange, she thought. Sleep was not coming easily, but she felt completely at peace. Naruto had saved her from her melancholy and the potential abyss that had nearly engulfed her following her exile. His presence had helped her heal faster than she ever dreamed. Hinata's world had expanded in new and amazing ways. Now, it was her time to move forward. She would still be at Naruto's side, but this time she would be his equal. A small smile graced her lips and Hinata enjoyed her first truly peaceful sleep in a long time. This was all for now. Thank you for watching, I hope you liked it and that you will be back for more. Please like, share and subscribe. See ya.